Hi everybody, so we're back again with another pair of Technics. This time we've got a pair of SL-1200 Limiteds. If you don't know a lot about these turntables, they are 24 karat gold, or bits of 24 karat gold on them. 5,000 made in total, so they are limited edition, hence the limited LTD or the badges on the corners. Come with plaques in the corners of the decks, black piano key finish. Pretty damn tasty if you ask me. So this is number 34 out of 5,000. We've got a number 120 out of 5,000. So these are early on in the production. They're coming to me from my customer Paul for a full strip down, rebuild, service, LED replacements, pitch, all the usual bits that any other model of Technics comes in for. They're in they actually are well looked after. They're well used as well. He's owned them from new. The problem with these limited edition turntables, particularly the 1200 Limited, because of the black piano key finish, they do scratch extremely easily. So for anyone out there that owns a pair of 1200 Limiteds, stay well clear of dusters. Stay well clear of dusters. Make sure you use a very good quality microfiber cloth. Dusters will just scratch the surface of these the minute they touch. So it's a big no-no on these turntables. Anything with the black piano key finish, you should avoid using dusters. So the first priority job on these turntables, once everything was removed and we had just the plinths on their own, was to perform a scratch renovation on each plinth. Now I sat here for hours trying to get as many of the scratches out as physically possible. Now this is actually, that's not a scratch if you're thinking. This is the problem. Any little touch, they smudge. As you can see here, look, they just smudge super easily. But these were covered in scratches. There's still the odd scratches on it that you can see. They're a hell of a lot lighter though to how they were, particularly this area here on both turntables. They were covered in plenty of deep swirly scratches, which I've actually managed to remove, and I'm very happy that I have. But after removing the majority of the scratches that I could, I spent about 6 hours on these plinths doing this. We then resin coated and highly polished both plinths. So you can see how shiny they are from just about any angle on this. So it really is a labour of love with these. You can't rush these guys if you are going to attempt to clean your own, especially this model. It's knowing what products to use as well. Like I say, microfiber cloth is your best friend when it comes to the limited edition version. So you'll also notice that the gold arm is much brighter than every other part on this turntable, on both turntables. Now, what tends to happen with these, if you don't keep on top of the polishing of the platters, the dirt build-up all goes around the sides of the strobe dots, etc. If you attempt to wipe them or try to remove anything, you'll start to remove the coating on the platters. This is a very similar issue as to what happened with both of these. They came in a very similar colour to the arm, but there were parts missing in serious options, and I had to call my customer and basically explain that if I even remotely clean these platters, you're going to end up with a lot of the coating removed. So we made the decision to obviously remove the coating to polish them, because I didn't feel right sending these back with dirty platters. So that's hence why everything now is matching. In my honest opinion, I actually prefer it how the end result is now. I think it looks a lot more classy. Now, I've never really been a massive fan of gold on turntables. I know there's been a lot of people in the past that have tried to pretty much copy what Technics have done with the 1200 Limited. I mean, Reloop did one as well. And also there are the 50th anniversary editions as well, which are obviously gold. They're not real gold, it's like anodized gold colouring. So these are the only gold editions that you're going to find, as well as the Grandmaster version, the M5G version. The other thing is they go for an extortionate amount of money. These turntables, especially this particular model, thousands of pounds. You'll see if you look online at any auction sites, for sales sites, etc. You really can't find a pair of these for under £5 grand. So for those of you out there that actually own a pair of these turntables, the best advice I would give is keep hold of them. Do not sell them. Don't be tempted to make a quick buck out of them. There is no point in doing so, because you're only going to regret it. If you sold them now, you will not find a pair for the same, or for any cheaper than what you paid. They're only going up in value. These are going to be a very similar situation. I mean, not being funny, we've got number 34 and 120. These are very low in the manufacturing line when you think of it. So these are actually going to be worth more, in my opinion, than say one that's number 4090 and 3000, etc., etc. But yeah, I absolutely, you can see where I've gone over on the platters. You can see me, look. I mean, they have cleaned up exceptionally well. I'm extremely happy with the end result. So let's talk you through what I've actually done, obviously, aside from the scratch renovation side of things. So one thing my customer asked for was for replacement LEDs all over to the same specification of what was originally in here. So we've replaced the LEDs. This one's powered on, this one's not. So we've got new LEDs in the strobe housing, as you can see, nice and bright. 33 and 45 LEDs have both been replaced. LEDs on the pitch control have been replaced. New tactile switches. Oh yes, lovely. New pitch slider units in both turntables, so lovely and smooth. New under shader felt that sticks underneath the plinth, very, very important. The majority of these turntables that come through all require these replacing. They get replaced as standard on every turntable that comes through my door because they get caked in dirt, rave goo, you name it. The rectangular felt that sits underneath the knob itself has also been replaced. The trims are the original trims. Now, if these turntables were mint with not a scratch on them, I'd be contacting my customer, as I would with anybody else, and saying, spend the money, replace them. The bigger problem with these is the price in finding the parts. The lowest you can find these online is about 90 quid. £90 per trim, and that is extortionate for what they are. You can obviously buy reproduction units and pop them on, but they're not going to be the same. And to be honest, because we're keeping things original, like the power cables on both are original, the audio cables are original, still fantastic. The cables that are included with these turntables are the Technics high fidelity cables. They are the best cables that you can buy or come with either the limiteds or the M5Gs or the import edition turntables like the MK3, 1200 MK3 for an example, or Mark III. So you'll find that these are the best quality cables that Technics offered at the time, and they still are fantastic cables. Grounding cables are original, still in fantastic working order. We've obviously serviced the boards. Boards are both clean as a whistle. Internals are clean as a whistle. Everything's been rebuilt. Lamps as well. These aren't LEDs on both turntables. These are actually lamps. So I want to keep things in the original spec as requested by my customer. Arm assembly itself, fully rebuilt. Bearings are perfect on these. Anti-skate is absolutely spot on. Height adjustment section, all the threads have been deep cleaned, re-greased. Locking lever at the back, as you can see, beautifully smooth. Just a very well kept pair of 1200 limiteds. That's what I like to see, people that buy these turntables and actually look after them. Yes, they've been used. Yes, there are scratches. I could do the only best I could with these. It was only so far you can go with these renovators. But all in all, I'd be happy just to have a pair of them. I don't get many through my door, unfortunately. I mean, again, people tend to have these. It's sort of a collector's item. I'm usually asked by people that use them for hi-fi. Most of my customers buy a single turntable for hi-fi use. Don't get many in as a pair. Obviously done quite a few over the years. The rarer ones, obviously the 1200 Limited, the M5G version, and the Mark VI is another one that I very rarely get to see. But I have done quite a few of these over the years. It is luck of the draw with the platter, like I say, corrosion, wear and tear. Oh, what a bugger, I wish I hadn't touched that. You can see it on the camera. But yeah, all in all, very happy with the end result. I'm sure my customer will be. Well, I hope he is, fingers crossed. Paul, I hope you like these. I would be. I'll be very happy with these if I got these back. A lot of love's gone into them, a lot of time, a lot of hours worth of work. Oh, love that arm. I love that arm. It is starting to grow on me. I've never been a massive fan of gold on turntables, but these are growing on me. I think, like I said, I prefer them much more now, how they are, compared to having them just plastered with gold everywhere. I think they look classy. Obviously, these slip mats, you probably all noticed this by now. I've seen these on previous videos before. These are one of my designs. So these are available on the website. For those in the UK that are interested in purchasing a pair, you can go on there. I believe them called them as luxury watch mats. There's a couple of different variations on there. There's a Pepsi watch, there's a black version, as well as this silvery, coppery silver colour, which ironically goes really well with the platters, which I didn't just notice until now, actually. They go very, very well. So, yeah, I'm pretty damn chuffed with these. I wouldn't say no to a pair of 1200 Limiteds. If the pair at the right price came along, I probably would snap a pair up, to be honest, just for home. Just to say you've got a pair. It is the sort of deck that, you know, everyone recognises the gold versions of Technics from the old DMC days. This would be given away as prizes, where the top of the plimps would be coated, literally coated in gold. But yeah, it's not an everyday average pair of Technics that you tend to find. Obviously, internally, there's no real difference with them, apart from the fact that they have a plaque in the corner. There's no internal difference. Obviously, the one thing that I never quite understood why they did this, it's the only turntable they did this with. You actually have the reset switch, and the pitch control also has the ball bearing and spring for the physical click. So there is no reason why you couldn't just install an M3D or a Mark V slider unit, because they're both exactly the same, calibrate it to the correct specifications, and pretty much turn this into a Mark V. I mean, yes, you haven't got a recessed on-off switch, which the idea was you wouldn't accidentally knock the switch when you're scratching. But it's the same process. Reset switch resets it at 0. So if you had it up here, you hit reset, your speed's back at 0 again. So you can do that. So for those of you out there that do own a pair of these and are thinking of having them serviced, or thinking it's time to replace your old tired sliders, it might be a very good idea to consider that modification. Very simple enough to do. But as you're all aware now from all the previous videos I've explained over the years, the boards themselves are practically identical. There isn't really any change apart from the change in certain components on the boards, like resistors, capacitors, etc. Layouts are identical. ICs are identical. It is just, it's a design thing. Some of them, the ICs can be smaller, depending on the year, connectors, potentiometers, that sort of thing. But you could take a board out of a Mark V and slam it in here, an M3D, a Mark II. Any year will go straight in, as long as the connectors are correct to go from the pitch, the pop-up, and obviously the operation base, otherwise known as start and stop assembly. They will go straight in. So what I'm getting at is you could just put a Mark V or an M3D slider in, calibrate it to the correct settings, and away you go. So the next step now is going to be packaging these up to absolute perfection. They're going to be going in a beautiful pair of UDG flight cases that these arrived with from my customer. They're going to be popped in poly bags. The arms are going to be secured. We're not just going to leave them on the rest clip. They are going to be secured down so the arm does not move. We're also going to be removing the rear weight as well from both turntables, because there's something else that can come loose and fly off during transit. The platter, normally what I do with this is wrap around the platter so the platter doesn't physically move, but we don't need to do that with the cases. The cases that we've got are very extremely good quality, very expensive, and the block sits lovely and snug on top of the platter, so nothing is going to move. We also have another pair of slip mats which we're going to be including with these turntables, which is the space mats, as I call them. Blue space mats or galaxy mats, also available on the website. Yeah. And that's pretty much that, guys. So another lovely pair of 1200 Limiteds. That's my alarm going off, ignore that. Another pair of 1200 Limiteds completed in very used condition. Oh, what a shame. I can't believe I touched any of this. I've got to clean out again now. But yeah, there we go. Who else owns a pair of 1200 Limiteds? Anyone own the M5G version of the Gold Edition version? Anyone who owns a pair, let me know. How'd you get on with them? How'd you clean yours? How'd you maintain yours? Let us all know what you think in the comments, guys. Keep your eyes posted for another video. Won't take very long now. There's loads to get through, lots to upload. So as always, keep your eyes on the page. Thank you for watching. And thanks in advance for your comments. I will try and get back as quick as I can. Cheers, everybody.